Welcome to this restorative yoga for winter solstice. For this class, you are going to need a couple of blocks, a bolster, and a wall. And we will be starting it is the top of the hour now, so we can get started. So you're going to want to get up the wall, your legs up the wall. So the way that you do that, and if you don't have a wall, you can always do legs a couch or a chair, whatever furniture you have available to you. Sometimes if you don't have a wall space, the back of a door can be a useful space. All of our holds today are going to be extra long. So they're going to be nice 10-minute long holds in celebration of the winter solstice. So you're going to put your hips right up against the wall. You're going to rotate around and bring your legs up the wall. So if you have any low back issues, if this is bothering your back, then you can just bend your knees and place your feet on the wall with a slight bend in your knees. So just give yourself a chance to settle in here. Let yourself be as comfortable and cozy and warm as possible. You might want to pull a blanket up around you. You might want to have an eye pillow over your eyes. Whatever is going to add to your comfort and allow you to let go into the props, which here is the ground and the wall. So just feel the support of the earth here. Let your skull sink heavy into the earth, your shoulders, your shoulder blades, your rib cage, your pelvis, your heels. Let there be space between your teeth. Let the energy of your eyes come towards the backs of your eyeballs so you can sink inward now. And of course, if coming inward doesn't feel right now for you, you can always open your eyes and allow yourself to be grounded in your space, naming the objects in your space, whatever works for you. Winter is also the season of inner listening, so you can just notice what it is that you're hearing in your space right now, the sound of my voice, maybe sounds in your room, sounds outside of the room. The sound of your breath as it comes in and out. Winter solstice occurs between December 20th and 22nd in the Northern Hemisphere, in June 20th and 22nd in the Southern Hemisphere. It represents the shortest day and the longest night of the year. And today we sink into the depths of the darkness and most likely the tiredness that envelops us. It's a perfect time to practice the rejuvenating, restorative style of yoga. Culturally, winter solstice, December, and the year end has become a time of year to focus on the culmination of the year, bringing your year to a linear conclusion. Looking back on your calendar accomplishments for the year, and there's a kind of pressure to look at how far you've come. However, on this, it's highly unlikely that the great mystery or that we will have any illuminations for the whole year. Winter solstice is a time to enter into the darkness, the mystery, and the liminality rather than wrapping up the year with a nice bow. Winter solstice marks the beginning of water element season and winter. And the five elements is the theme of my forthcoming book. It should be out at the beginning of next year. So, water element season is a season of darkness, mystery, and inner listening. And we don't enter into this season already knowing, already having all the answers. We enter into this season with curiosity, with a sense of poetry and a willingness to simply listen and not need to know all the answers. So being open to go into hibernation and not needing to succumb to the cultural cry for proving that you accomplished something this last year is kind of an act of aversion. It's an act of turning away from the dominant culture. Maybe even just today on the winter solstice or even just during this class, giving yourself this next hour to allow yourself to have an hour where there's nothing that needs to be decided or understood for this past year, and to be open to resting rather than needing to define where you're headed. So there'll be plenty of time for that in the spring, and in fact, the energy of spring, your body in spring will support you much more for that at that time. Now is a time for resting. Now is a time when the energy gets pulled inward for listening. The solstice is a time of a mystery and the unknowable. So allow yourself to simply sink into the darkness and be curious about what it feels like to not know right now and to not reach for the answers. and to not reach for a linear conclusion to the year. Staying connected with that inner listening. And then we're going to move slowly. So you're going to bend your knees, pause here for a moment, just feel the blood flow come back to your feet. Notice how you feel after 10 minutes and legs up the wall. You can roll to your side and pause here for a moment. And our next pose is going to be child's pose with a bolster. So if that's going to not work for your knees or your ankles, you can take child's pose right here on your back with your feet against the wall. You could take your arms overhead here as well so that you're actually taking the shape of child's pose, but you're on your back. So that would be an option if you have knee issues or ankle issues. This is a really beautiful version of child's pose. Or if you would like, you can take the pose front facing, maybe a little bit more inward. You could use a bolster or not use a bolster. It's up to you, whatever feels right in your body today. So tune into that inner listening and see what's gonna work for you in your body. So you're also gonna be in this pose for 10 minutes. These longer holds are just going to allow us to sink more deeply into the poses. So give yourself a chance to settle in and really be received by the pose and received by the props. And in this pose, it's really nice to breathe into the kidneys and the low back, the organs of water element season. You can build those energy reserves to support you in winter, the energy where the season where we are conserving energy. And just check in with your physical body and see if there is any place where there might be tension, where you could let go a little bit more so that you're not taking up energy with tension, because tension can rob you of energy that you might otherwise be conserving. So often joints are places where we hold tension. So maybe your shoulders, your jaw, knees, your ankles, your hips. Slight adjustments there might allow you to just let go a little bit more, conserve a little bit more energy. Notice your eyes, the space between your eyebrows. So, winter solstice is a time to mirror the stillness and quietude of the dormant. All of nature is resting and hibernating and inviting us to do the same. This is a time for us to be patient and wait for the slow build towards the brighter days of spring that will come later. So now is the time to rest and conserve our energy. When we tune inwards, we can connect with our inner silence, our inner wisdom, and listen for those blessings and guidance that are available through deep rest. This is not a time to pursue self improvement. Our energy will not be supported to define a linear journey for the coming year or even for the past year. This season doesn't support us in constantly chasing a future self that we actually will never get to. So, our culture really pushes us to always be in the need to pursue our best self. And ultimately, this is not what makes us responsible, good, ethical, moral, or valuable. Winter solstice may be the return of the light, but it also marks the beginning of water element season in winter. And the days are short, and it is normal to be tired. Our energy is low, and we're meant to be conserving energy at this time. We're meant to go to bed early and stay in bed later, just like the sun does. Our work days should be shorter. One of the main themes of water element season is to conserve energy. This is just so important for our kidneys. You're going to slowly release this pose from your body. You can put your bolster off to the side, and we're going to need a block for the next posture so you can get your block. You could use your bolster as well. It's up to you, whatever you want to use. You're going to do a bridge with your block. So lying on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Press into your feet. You can take the block underneath your pelvis and just place the block there. Remember, you're going to be there for 10 minutes, so choose the height wisely. Remembering it's a restorative class, we just want to restore the energy here. You can have your arms by the side of your body or overhead. And in this pose, you can breathe into your lower belly and let it be like a blue black lake that you're building energy in here. So it's the color of water element season is blue black. And the more we tune inwards, the deeper the water reserves build. So imagine it's like a lake that's getting deeper and deeper. The deeper the lake gets, the more you're conserving energy into your lower dantian, a really big energy reservoir in your body. So space between your teeth so that you have a relaxed jaw. Let the energy in your eyes drop towards the backs of your eyes. So, in this restorative yoga class for winter solstice, I'm inviting you to surrender to the mystery of darkness. The darkness all around you is here to support you in exploring your inner world. In the depth of this long night, there is space for your intuition, your inner wisdom, and creative potential to be birthed again. However, it's important that we rest in this frozen silence and in this stark stillness without rushing on to the next thing. This is the time to go inside before stepping out into the world again. Creativity will come again in the spring, in the wood element season. Winter and water element season is a sacred time of gestation, just like the bulbs that are growing deep under the ground. So that's what we're meant to be doing as well. You can embrace the stillness and let yourself gestate and allow yourself to conserve your energy. You're going to go ahead and curl your tailbone under, lift your pelvis up and off, slowly lower down. Let's just hug our knees into our chest after this one. Give your back of a pelvis a little bit of a massage. Okay, our next pose is going to be restorative locust pose. And this is a pose that I've been practicing every day lately, really just to build that energy in the kidneys, conserve the kidney energy. And I'm going to show you the way that I've been practicing it. But if you don't have a wall, I just want to show you that you can set this up so that you can either have your legs over your bolsters like this. Maybe I'll just show you the leg positions. So you could have your legs over your bolster like this, or you can elevate your legs. You can have your bolster elevated like this, and you can have your legs like this on your bolster. Okay. So I'm going to show you another option, the option that I've been doing lately that I've been really liking because it really pressurizes my kidneys quite nicely. So you can choose the option that you like. I think if you have low back problems, you're going to want to stick with one of these versions with the bolster probably. But if you don't and you can tolerate that little bit of pressure or you like that little bit of pressure in your back, you're probably going to like this version that I've been working with every day lately to really conserve. And it's really nice for pressurizing the kidneys, I've been finding. So you'll need your mat back up against the wall. And then you're going to take your blocks. The blocks go underneath your shoulders in restorative locust. So what you do is you put your legs up the wall, the front, you put your knees right to the wall. And then you lower yourself down, you bring the blocks in. So the blocks go underneath your shoulders. And you rest your forehead on the ground. And just do a little bit of tucking your pelvis under to create some space in the low back. And you're going to be here for 10 minutes. So you might want to just check it out, see how it feels in your body. And if it's not feeling great in your low back, you can always come back to one of the other versions that I showed you. Otherwise, you can stay here and just breathe into your low back. You can let me know after the class in the comments, how you like this version of restorative locust with the wall. But breathing into your low back, breathing into your kidneys, building that conservation of energy into your kidneys. So it's only possible to make that descent into the darkness when you commit to stillness and quiet. And only you will know what that looks like for you. Perhaps it's time in meditation, yoga, quiet contemplation, long walks on the barren paths of the forest, breaks from social media, letting go of social engagements, embracing naps and downtime. However, it's only through deep rest that authentic healing and rejuvenation can be accessed. This poem is called Winter Meditation by Denise Levertov, and I revised it slightly for our yoga class today. The bare trees have made up their seed bundles. They are ready now. The warm brown light pauses briefly, shrugs, and moves on. They're ready now to play dead for a while. I, human, had devised a plan to obtain such privilege. Their spring will find them rested. I, and in kind, a will wake refreshed and alert.
Okay, you're going to slowly release this pose from your body.
You can find a way just to stretch your low back. You could do a little squat pose here. You could do a little child's pose, whatever feels good. You might also like to do a seated twist. Before we do our final pose, legs up the wall, just to let you know, this will be the last class before Christmas and the New Year. There will be another live class in the membership on Sunday, another winter solstice class. And also in our membership, we have our advent calendar this month. So there's a class every day for that. We're doing some special classes. We're doing the chocolate classes right now. We're doing the bhavas and then also the koshas this month. And then, of course, we'll have another calendar in January. We'll be focusing on the bladder meridian in January. Okay, so coming back to center, we'll come to legs up the wall for our final pose, just to really conserve that energy, to bring that energy back down and in. If you'd rather not do legs up the wall, you can always do legs up a chair, or you could come into really restful shavasana, whatever works best for you. You're going to be in this for 10 minutes and just take notice of how your energy is now compared to the beginning of the class. If your energy is starting to feel conserved the further along we go in this class. And again, just giving yourself that extra time to settle in here, to feel the support of the wall, the support of the ground. And notice how your body is receiving that support now towards the end of the class compared to the beginning of the class. Noticing how your body is receiving your breath now as we come towards the end of the class. A poem called Adante Grazioso by Clea Roberts. The flooded ditches have sealed with ice. The morning light comes later and later, whispering and full of dark threats. I've decided to speak to release certainty, to take winter's ravens as my rowdy clerics. The street lamps bend to the crown of frost I make just by breathing. The flooded ditches have sealed with ice. The morning light comes later and later, whispering and full of dark threats. I've decided to speak to release certainty, to take winter's ravens as my rowdy cleric. The street lamps bend to the crown of frost I make just by breathing. And this short poem is called To Know the Dark by Wendell Berry. To go in the dark with a light is to know the light. To know the dark, go without sight, and find that the dark too blooms and sings, and is traveled by dark feet and dark wings. To go in the dark with a light is to know the light. To know the dark, go without sight, and find that the dark too blooms and sings, and is traveled by dark feet and dark wings.
Okay, so you're going to just slowly bend your knees. Give the blood a chance to come back to your feet. Roll to your side. Pause here for a moment. And you can slowly make your way up to seated. Thank you for joining me for this class for winter solstice. I would love it and I would appreciate it if you gave this class a thumbs up. If you know anybody who would enjoy it, thanks for sharing it with them, and put "I conserve my energy" in the comments, and just check and see if you're still subscribed to my channel. Some of you may know that we were hacked last week and the channel was taken over by somebody else who many of you probably unsubscribed from if you didn't like that channel. So just check and see if you're still subscribed, and if this content is resonating with you, I would love it if you subscribe to the channel. I've got lots of great things coming for you in the new year, including lots of stuff for your nervous system, the vagus nerve. So I think you're really going to enjoy that. Wishing you all the best of the holiday season. I'm sending much love from beautiful British Columbia.